they have updated. They have. They're here.
Yep, just got the notification in One Football. Let's go.
Blunk. Hey, and we are live. What's up? Twitter, YouTube, FanFest Live, our familia. Hey, FanFest Live, how you doing? We are Shades of Blue. I am Crunk Chocolate. That is Sharpie Charlie. It is the first morning match of the season. It was a little rough. Luckily, I did some day drinking yesterday, so I was able to, do what happens when you day drink, and that's fall asleep early. So
Very-
I'm well rested. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. I was up super late because I took a late nap unexpectedly, and you know how those things go. But we're
Hmm.
here. It's time for some footy.
You're here. I'm here. That's all that matters. And the starting 11 is here. So let's just get this pulled up. And with the shenanigans about Manuel Kanji and Phil not traveling, I knew some weirdness was going to happen. Luckily, we got players back. But with Pep down, it's just I knew it was going to be a weird match, weird week.
Yeah,
And I mean, the lineup, it's solid players: Ederson, Walker, Diaz, Akanji. Oh, sorry. Let's start. Let me take a sip of my coffee. Obviously, my brain's not quite on.
been there. We all been there.
Woo! Ederson, Walker, Diaz, Ake, Vardiol, Rodri, Kovacic, Bernardo, Grealish, Alvarez, and Halan. That's a sexy little lineup, honestly. I think this is going to be a dangerous squad. How do you feel about it?
I feel like every lineup City puts out there is capable of winning the match. I don't like. Of course, you want Phil Foden in, right?
Yeah.
You like Akanji's been great. Cole Palmer's been great. Like whoever comes on that pitch, I have the utmost confidence in. Um, it's definitely looking like first off like a straight 4-3-3. Um, unless and I don't unless like Vardiol does the Akanji Stones roll and pushes up to midfield beside Rodri, to add a number up there. Um, but yeah, because we know when Walker, we could use the same tactics as last week, right? But Walker is the one that gets really far on the right because we are starting Julian Alvarez, who likes to play through the middle more. Um, so I think it's a great lineup.
See, and the thing is, I see what this lineup is, and it looks traditional, but when they play, it's still that like 3-2-3-1. I don't know. It's like set up like a 4-3-3, but when it's like defensively they're 4-3-3, but offensively they're the 3-2-3-1.
Yeah,
Uh,
you can even see like a 3-6-1, really, if you really want to think about it. Like
yeah.
Holland could be the lone striker,
Uh huh.
and everybody else floods the midfield.
Right. Whoosh.
Just six people. Good luck. Can ball get passed around. I do think Thor is going to be very, very win today. After last week, we have to be honest here, Crump, and we love him. He is
Mm,
phenomenal. One of the greatest seasons in football history. He had a bad game last week, and that's okay. Bad games happen. Players don't aren't always perfect because that would be crazy if they were. Even Erling Haaland. So the best thing you do is that you bounce back. Like you come back, you say, "Hey, remember who I am, Bramble Wing. Nice to meet you. First time here. You gotta introduce yourself properly. First impressions are everything, right?
right. I mean, that's the gentleman thing to do before you score a hat trick on them.
Yeah.
It's only makes sense. It look. Shout out to Chad from Red Half of Sheffield. Had him on for Breaking Bread. And, thank you. He was fantastic. And the biggest thing I learned from recording with him, we aren't honest enough about the squad. We have to be honest about Halan. Man's Chad said they have the brokest prince in all of Saudi Arabia because of the fact that the squad is what the squad is. You would think, being one of those sheiks, he'd be out there. doing his thing, but he's not. And if he's gonna say that about his club, I mean, obviously we're not gonna call him because our club spends the money, but I think we can be a little more critical. That's all I'm taking from it. If he's gonna stand up on his and say with his chest like that, because he said it, and he said that he said it before, it's just like, oh, we can turn up a little bit on our show. Then we can
Yeah,
turn up a little bit more.
I mean, the honesty was refreshing. Like that was the realest of the real right there. Like he was just like, look, like we are who we are. Decisions were made, and as a supporter, fan, whatever title you want to use, I think that's healthy, right? Like you got to know what your team is, so that way you don't have those false expectations. Like he would be foolish if he got up there with you was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna make this tough. You all won't score against us. It's gonna be 0-0 draw." Come on, bro. Like that would have been it would have been very facetious. Like you would have been
Yeah.
playing, and nobody likes to be played with. So like that in public. So yeah, so I think we are good. Um, who are those blades starting? Let's see who we got here.
All right. So Fodderam is their keeper. Baldock. I see. I recognize the name Baldock. I don't really know. Because I watched a few of their matches.
Yeah.
Uh, let's call him Amehelzidik.
Yeah.
Egan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Robinson. Osborne. Norwood. Souza. Hamer. Traore. And Osula. And I don't know anything about the Traore, but it's good to have that name. I wonder what his style is, who he is. I mean, he really said, when I asked, I was like, who's going to do anything? And he was just like, look, honestly, club's full of scrubs. So there's no point for me really even to be like, yada yada, this dude. He's like, I don't really see it coming for us.
I mean, what I did realize in looking at their first two matches, right? They played tight matches. They weren't getting blown out. This was not a squad that gave up 4 goals. They gave up 1 goal to Crystal Palace and they gave up 2 goals to Forest, right? And they lost 2-1. So I think they're a team that is solid and compact. Because we saw Forest get off against, they could score against Man United. We saw Palace, like we know the talent they have. And it wasn't until the 89th minute that Chris Wood got that winner against Sheffield United last week. So it's a very tight group. They played a 3-4-2-1. I just think they come out straight back 5-4-1 situation. Maybe 2 banks of 5 go Atletico Madrid on us. Because a point for them in their home opener, or their home match against the treble winning champions. The treble winners, I think that would be amazing. We all know they're playing for a point. Paul Heckenbottom, if they get out, it's like when Company played us, right? You just want to look respectable. You don't want to have it get to a 6-0, 7-0. We don't want to go Norwich style, where we used to just abuse them. You want to just come out respectable. And so they may not put a shot on target. We can do that defensively. And that's another thing going back to our lineup is we have world-class defenders every week, every position. So who's ever back there, the goal is a clean sheet. Like we could go, wow, maybe go the month of the first 3 matches of the year without giving up a goal. Am I off, or have we had 2 shutouts back to back?
Yeah, no, we haven't given up a goal all season yet.
That's insanity.
Yeah.
Because look at Arsenal. Let's take a moment to laugh at people. Look at what Arsenal did. Clowns. They thought this was sweet. They thought they were one of us. It's only 1-1.
And it's so sad too because they got the calls they got. I mean, and even it's just like, well, Saka didn't get called, and then Tete just silly moment, big old silly steak. That slide tackle, I don't know what he was doing. I know he was fearful for what was going to happen because it did definitely smell like a goal was about to happen. But to give up that foul like that, at least he didn't get carded. I mean, and then just bad defense, just turn into Saka to stop him. I don't know. It was. I know when the heat turns on in squads like that, that's when mistakes happen. And theoretically, you should be like good on Arsenal for figuring out how to win, but it didn't feel that way. Or sorry, draw. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Sorry.
it's
But
the same as last year. Remember, we were always told, okay, when Saliba got hurt, that was what killed their defense. Saliba was on the field yesterday. Declan Rice was on the field yesterday. Uh, Ben White was on the field. I didn't see a defense from the highlights I saw that wasn't two. Now, the first goal, of course, not the defense's fault, right? Saka played a bad pass. People have bad games. But that goal at the end of the match, when you know you're up 2-1, and all you got to do is clear a corner, we know for Man City, that corner's getting clear. Somebody's head is getting to it. Shut up shop, kick the ball down the pitch, go to the corner, 3 points. It's a very early thing. We know things happen, people drop points, but that's not the points you drop. You drop a side that has a comparable transfer budget as you. You don't drop the 10-man Fulham. That is you know what? Take this Sheffield off the screen because we got to play our favorite game, Crump.
ooh.
When will not Pep now? When will Wama make a sub? We got Doku on the bench. We got Doku. We got Palmer. We got. I'm not even gonna say people that don't play. So let me just be real. We got Doku. We got Palmer. We got Lewis. And Foden. Will any of those four players see the field?
I do believe Foden and Palmer could. If Doku does, I don't think so. I think he might hold Doku for home. I think it's just good. Yeah, I think it's just good to have him on the bench, be around the guys, feel the match, feel the energy and stuff like that.
I want stoppage time for Doku. Like, that's what I expect. I want a stoppage time. Like, okay, we have a +6. You come on in the 89th minute. Go run around, be fast, take somebody on. Get the ball, kick the ball out of bounds. It's great. It's fine. That's what dribblers do. Can't be perfect. But yeah, Pep is still going to be very much involved. Wama said as much yesterday in his press conference. So if anything changes about subs, I will be shocked. We haven't been subbing a lot this year. I think because we have one match a week, it's like, hey, they can make it. We'll figure it out. We're fully rested.
That's true.
They're here.
That's true.
And unless the match is out of control, like we're up 4-0 or up 3-0 with 85 minutes on the clock, I don't see. I guess I've come full circle. I don't see the need for a sub, right? Like I've been so warped. My mind has been affected. This is trauma, I guess, because like I've wanted it for so much. Maybe it's just not supposed to happen, and we keep winning. So who am I to tell these professional soccer geniuses, football geniuses, how to live their life, Crump? I can't do that. What do I know? I'm a black guy hanging out in Virginia. I don't know this way they do. But they don't want to sub. Good job, boys.
Right. So obviously it's something that's working, and that's a great point though. Maybe that just is it, because there's no need to sub. There's only one match a week. We know they need to be getting in shape. There's no better way of getting in shape and learning and pushing through those walls than in match competition, especially when people are in and out of injury at the moment. And I'm sure half of that is they've been traveling and getting in shape. You get some little knocks trying to get back into shape. I'm not too worried. Not to people can still watch the episode. It's like 30 minutes long, but he said, because we've played them a couple of times in a cup competition, it was 3-0, and he's like, the few last times we played you guys, it's been 3-0 both times. I think that's just what's going to happen. It's going to be 3-0. And I honestly think it's going to be more. I think it's going to be like 4-0, 5-0. I'm feeling really good about this match. Like you said, everyone feels it. Haaland's going to get these goals. He is angry. Alvarez, he wants those goals. He's been hot. So of course I think he wanted to keep that streak going. If Foden comes on, he's going to want to show something. Yeah, I think we're just going to run it up on him.
I also, before I get to my score prediction, I want to say it is that Phil Foden is on the bench, right? Because the thought is this: if he can walk, he can play. Last week, 7 chances created. we got to do it. But it's like, no, Bernardo Silva's coming back in. So even if you have the slightest knock, if something's a little off, okay, well, fine. Like you can come in second half, 25, 30 minutes. Like we don't need to play players right now if they're not in top optimal shape.
Mm-hmm.
We have enough people. This is where the depth conversations always annoy me because I'm like, look at the replacements. Like they're there. We're good. We have two left-sided center defenders, two left-footed defenders, two right-footed defenders. You have your midfield of world-class players. I just saw on USA they kind of said it would be like a 4-2-3-1 with Kovacic sitting beside Rodri, Alvarez at the 10, Bernardo on his right wing, which I think makes sense because that allows Walker to get up because we know Bernardo tucks in. So, however, whatever tactics we see, and we'll know in the first 5 minutes, it's like, okay, we're going to face a deep line bank. We do this all the time. Let's get that one goal early, open them up. And like you said, if we score less than 3 goals, like we only score 2 goals, I'll be so disappointed.
Okay. And no Pep. So how wild do you think Walker's gonna do? Like I see him fizzing low balls in. I see him taking shots. I see him trying to take people on. I feel like this is his chance to be like, I can show Pep I'm way more than a guy who just runs up and down the pitch.
I mean, it is and it isn't, right? Because that's in a great way what he is. Like he's a classic right back. This man is 3 years old. He's a man of our generation. He's a millennial.
Yes.
The Gen Z defenders, they're the ones, up here doing all this. Rico Lewis is not Kyle Walker, and Kyle Walker's not Rico Lewis. So I hope it's like last week. I like that tactic a lot, and obviously we're playing a side that's not nearly as good as Newcastle this week. And if Haaland's on his game, he's definitely nicking a goal. Alvarez, he loves to score goals. I just think it's a matter of, does a third person join the party, or is it just like those two just trade goals and we get a performance where, like in the derby last year where Phil got a hat trick, Haaland got a hat trick, right? A double brace feels fun. I don't know. I might bet a double brace just for fun, just to see what happens. Put $2 on it. Who knows?
What are the goal odds for the match? And while you're looking all that stuff up, I am interested because if Sheffield, like we think they're going to do those 2 banks of 5, either way, they're just going to make it tough for us to attack those spaces. The best thing to do is once we get the ball, if they slip up, is to attack. We shouldn't be really worried about what they're going to do. And I feel maybe Yama will play to that. Maybe he will be more willing to be like, hey, if you see that pass to Holan, go for it. Pep is not here. We know, I trust you guys a little bit more. I'm interested to see the differences in them two, because he's still going to do the whole Pep offense, defense, all that thing, but it will be like the small minutia of the match. What will he let the players be a little more free? And I'm very much interested to see if that is what's going to happen.
So here's some goal scoring props for my people who are in betting states. And bet responsibly, people. Please, thank you.
Yes.
Erling Haaland is a -200 score, so that means $20 wins you $10 for any time score. Julian Alvarez, great value, +130. So if you bet $10, you win. You win 13. Phil Foden, even on the bench, is +180. This is a surprise here. Oscar Bob and James McAtee have better anytime scoring odds than Jack Grealish. Bob is +210. McAtee is +280. Grealish is a +320. So that's $10 wins you 32. So it's just like the odds are crazy. Like, even if you want to look at defenders, let's say somebody gets a header, right?
Whoa.
Ake is a +800. Vardiol is a +800. Rodri is a +700. And Rodri coming up from midfield while we play a low block to get a shot off. We saw it in the Champions League final. We saw him score in the first match of the season. That wouldn't shock me. Like we have the advantage, obviously, on every set piece. So anything could happen. Yeah, I'm excited to watch. It's always fun to watch these matches, right? Because you're going to win. It's just like, how do we do it? And the earlier you score, the more calm you are. But playing after chaos like that we saw yesterday with United and Arsenal, I think is always a great thing because it's okay. We aren't them. We don't do that. Not right now. Not against this team. We're not going to Bramall Lane to be out here in a fight. Okay, this is not a dog fight. This is going to be a nice stroll, a nice kickabout. Sunday. This is our Sunday regularly. This is our Sunday
Right.
foul.
Some speed walking, the
Yeah,
feet never leave the ground.
yeah. That's all. Nothing crazy. Like we don't. They're not gonna make us. Like I think that's another thing that people don't understand is that like you aren't exerting yourself to the same level when you're playing a deep line team because you can't. You're not gonna press that much. Like you're gonna like. I think yesterday we saw the Brighton match. Brighton had like 80% of the ball. Like it was pure counter football for West Ham, and they did it perfectly. Do I think Sheffield United can do that? No, I don't think they have players that. I think it's fair to say they don't have the players West Ham does. So it would literally take City kicking the ball into our own net for us to lose today, um, and I don't see that happening.
Mm-mm. I'll
Just
knock on
uh,
my fake wood just in
Shout out
case.
to Tom Bomb. Just saw him tweet or mention us on X. He's going 4-1 City today.
Oh, let's go. Let's go. I like that. I like that. And then also, shout out to my Quad City Irish Rugby Club. They ran it up against, I don't even know who came and played, but they handled business. It was like 42-28, and the other team scored like 18 of it in the final 10-15 minutes of the match after they put the old boys in. But I was playing with the rugby ball. I mean, I have mine right behind me, right here, ready to go whenever. So I've been playing with it. I was just like, oh, I've already been like out jogging a little bit. I don't know. I might have to get the boots back on because it's when I was playing and I was younger. It's funny watching it now because everything is slower in general. You can appreciate things, but there's now a rugby league in America, so that kind of took away all of the like ringers. So it is actual Division 3 rugby. Back
Mm.
then, when I would play, there was a lot of teams that would have like scholarships, and they bring ringers in, and they were trying to go up the ranks. And so now it's just like it's still rugby. People are still hitting each other, but it is actual Division 3 rugby. I can get back in shape. There are people playing my position. I was like, oh, I can do much better than that person. And shout out to you, Hammer. You're the homie. And but yeah, I think I'm gonna be running people over in a couple weeks again. So I'm gonna be making little highlight videos like Doku for match days. So stay
From
tuned.
that video, check it on Patreon. Coming to a Patreon near you. For
Yeah,
those who don't,
man.
our Patreon is now. I think today, right? It's the last day, or it's tomorrow.
Yeah.
The last
I'm technically today is the last day, and then it's gonna start tomorrow.
Please support. Have some most dope things. You have all the Breaking Bread episodes. You have my series Best of the Rest, where we talk footy from around Europe, non-Premier League footy, also hitting Saudi Arabia and MLS. So 6 leagues we like to cover. Look at some key matchups, big name teams, upsets, hot performers, and I try to give a match to watch for the next week in case you want to lock in on some really good football. Um, Crunk's got a series coming up, right? Is it
Yep.
what's it called?
Traductor de Pep. It means the translator of Pep.
Okay.
So like I'm having some fun with this one. I've just been slowly editing it, and hopefully I'm gonna have some clips to tease people, some salacious moments because I'm wilding. I'm just this is fun, and it's definitely gonna be Patreon because it's expletives, baby. I'm having some fun. I'm boozing. It's yeah, and then some of the interviews that I have, those will be specifically for the Patreon, the top tier. Well, we got to get you guys to that top tier somehow, and I have some real dope interviews. We're gonna be doing some more real dope interviews. There are gonna be some things happening that will be specifically for the 12. I got some traveling that I'm gonna be doing, so that's also gonna be some vlog work. Uh, yeah, some big things coming. Sharpie, did you give a prediction before we get out of here?
I did not give a prediction. I'll go City 4-0. 4-0 Phil.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's great. What is the over under for goals? Is it two and
Oh,
a
good
half?
question. Right here. It is. Let's see. The odds are. And what would I bet if I was you? Oh man, the odds for goals. Do they even have a spread? Hold on. Oh,
They're
game line. So I'm looking on a computer, so it's so different. Oh man, this is easy. The over under is 2.5 goals. So over 2.5. So if you think they're going to be 3 goals, it's minus 170. 17 to win 10. You could parlay that with a Erling Holland minus 200, and you can get some plus odds. So I think once we get off Crunk, I'll do that. I'll be and make that little dabble,
All right, let's hopefully get some money going.
a little bit of
All
money.
right. All right, well, I am Crunk Chocolate. That is Sharpie Charlie. We are Shades of Blue coming from FanFest Live. Come on, City, baby.
You know the vibes.